Brace yourself for an epic journey of forbidden love, relentless ambition, and mysteries that defy fate. If you crave stories that blend passion with intrigue, hit subscribe for more riveting adventures. In the heart of New York City during a crisp autumn evening, Amelia Sinclair's life took a turn she never anticipated. Known for her radiant beauty and a gentle spirit that belied her strength, Amelia was a young woman with dreams of making a difference. Her days were spent working in a small art gallery, where she nurtured her passion for literature and painting. But that fateful night, amid a charity gala held in one of Manhattan's historic mansions, destiny introduced her to a man whose presence exuded mystery and gravitas. Elias Beaumont, a renowned billionaire with a reputation for both his ruthless business acumen and a tender vulnerability rarely seen by the public, had long been the subject of whispered rumors. At 48 years old, Elias was known not only for his immense wealth, but also for his tragic struggle with a rare, terminal illness, a secret that made him both a figure of sympathy and intrigue. On that night, as he moved discreetly through the crowd in a tailored suit that hinted at both elegance and sorrow, his eyes met Amelia's. There was an instant, unspoken recognition, a meeting of souls that transcended the glitz and the glamour surrounding them. Amelia felt drawn to him in a way she could hardly explain. In the dim light of the grand ballroom, as strings of violins wove a haunting melody, Elias approached her with a hesitant smile. Their conversation began with polite pleasantries but quickly deepened into a discourse about art, mortality, and the ephemeral nature of beauty. His voice, soft yet resonant, hinted at a lifetime of experiences that weighed heavily on him. Although his illness had isolated him from most of the world, in Amelia's presence, he discovered a spark of life and hope he had long thought extinguished. The night ended with an unspoken promise, a connection forged in vulnerability. For Amelia, the encounter was more than a brush with the enigmatic billionaire. It was as if fate had placed her at the epicenter of a story much larger than herself. Little did she know that this chance meeting would soon evolve into a romance that would defy expectations and shake the foundations of the high society circles they both inhabited. As the gala faded into memory, whispers of Elias's condition circulated among those in attendance, adding a bittersweet layer to his already complicated persona. Yet, amid the somber notes of his rumored fate, a glimmer of something unexpected, hope, perhaps, or the possibility of redemption, shone brightly in the eyes of the young beauty who dared to dream of a life beyond the ordinary. Within weeks of that unforgettable night, the news of Elias Beaumont's engagement to Amelia Sinclair sent shockwaves through both elite business circles and artistic communities alike. Their wedding, held in a secluded estate outside the city, was a dazzling yet somber affair. The grandeur of the event was juxtaposed with the knowledge of Elias's frail health, a secret that hung over every whispered conversation and tentative smile. The ceremony took place beneath a canopy of ancient oak trees, their branches dancing in the autumn breeze. Guests arrived in elegant attire, their eyes alternating between admiration for the couple's union and quiet concern over the shadow of mortality that seemed to follow Elias. As Amelia walked down a petal-strewn path in a flowing ivory gown, her heart pounded with a mix of joy and apprehension. Despite the public speculation, she had fallen deeply in love with Elias, not out of pity, but because of the tenderness and strength he displayed in the face of adversity. Elias, though visibly weakened by his illness, stood with a dignified posture that commanded respect. In his eyes was a hidden world of pain and determination, a life story filled with triumphs and tragedies. During the exchange of vows, he spoke of love as the one force powerful enough to transform even the bleakest of fates. His words resonated with everyone present, stirring emotions and igniting hope that perhaps, even in the shadow of death, new beginnings were possible. As the couple sealed their vows with a kiss, an almost palpable energy swept over the assembly, a mixture of celebration and somber introspection. For many, the marriage symbolized the triumph of love over despair, the possibility of light even in the darkest corners of existence. Yet, beneath the surface of this joyful union, there lay secrets that neither guest nor family fully understood. Elias's health was more precarious than anyone realized, and the true nature of his condition was shrouded in mystery. In the days that followed, as the newlyweds settled into their life together, Amelia began to notice subtle signs that hinted at a complexity beneath Elias's fragile exterior. Despite his gentle smiles and reassuring reassurances, there were moments when his eyes clouded with pain and memories of a past he seldom spoke of. The estate, filled with rare artifacts and relics of Elias's vast business empire, whispered tales of both success and hidden sorrow. For Amelia, every corner of their new home seemed to echo with the unspoken questions. What had Elias truly endured, and what would the future hold for a man whose life had been marked by both brilliance and bitterness? The initial months of marriage passed in a gentle cadence of shared dreams and quiet discovery. Amelia and Elias embraced a routine that balanced the public responsibilities of wealth with the private sanctuary of their home. Mornings were often spent strolling through the expansive gardens of their estate, where the dew on the grass seemed to mirror the delicate beauty of new beginnings. Evenings brought moments of intimate conversation over candlelit dinners, during which Elias would recount tales from his youth, stories filled with both triumph and regret. In these early days, Amelia's empathy and resilience shone through. She was determined not to let Elias's illness define their relationship. Instead, she focused on building a life together that was rich in meaning, art, and human connection. Her days in the art gallery had taught her the value of beauty in all its forms, and she began to encourage Elias to reconnect with passions he had long abandoned. Together, they explored forgotten hobbies, Elias's old love for classical music and Amelia's skill in painting landscapes that captured the ever-changing light of their days. Yet, as tender as these moments were, Amelia occasionally sensed the presence of a deeper, darker truth lurking beneath Elias's gentle facade. Late at night, when the estate fell silent and only the soft hum of the city could be heard in the distance, Elias's face would become etched with pain and longing. His eyes would wander to a locked cabinet in his study, a cabinet he forbade anyone from opening. Curiosity gnawed at Amelia's heart. She could not help but wonder what relics of the past were hidden within and what secrets they might reveal about the man she was falling irrevocably in love with. Despite the mystery, Elias always reassured her with a tender smile and a whispered promise that one day she would understand. His words, filled with both regret and hope, hinted at a life spent guarding truths too dangerous or painful to share. Amelia respected his need for secrecy, yet the allure of those hidden memories only deepened her resolve to be by his side, no matter the cost. During this period, the couple also became increasingly involved in philanthropic endeavors. Elias, once a shrewd and sometimes cold businessman, now found solace in using his wealth for the betterment of others. Together, they funded scholarships, built community centers, and supported emerging artists. Their public appearances began to paint a picture of a couple united not only by love, but by a shared mission to make the world a kinder place. And while the media speculated endlessly about the mysterious illness and the eccentric billionaire's past, those closest to the couple could see a transformation, one that was both inspiring and deeply human. Yet, beneath the layers of compassion and creativity, the enigmatic aura surrounding Elias persisted. As the seasons changed, so too did the undercurrents of secrets that bound him. For Amelia, each day was a delicate balancing act, cherishing the beauty of the present while confronting the unsettling allure of the unknown. Her love for Elias was fierce and unwavering, but she knew that the true test of their union would come when the past finally resurfaced to challenge the fragile peace they had built. The turning point came on a rainy afternoon when Amelia, unable to contain her curiosity any longer, found herself drawn to the mysterious locked cabinet in Elias's study. The heavy wooden door, adorned with intricate carvings, seemed to pulse with an energy that both beckoned and warned. After days of inner turmoil, she resolved to uncover the secrets it concealed. With trembling fingers and a pounding heart, Amelia retrieved a set of old keys Elias had once carelessly left on a side table. One key in particular, ornate and slightly tarnished, fit the lock perfectly. Inside, she discovered a collection of personal mementos, letters, photographs, and journals that chronicled Elias's life before the billionaire persona emerged. As she pored over the yellowed pages and faded ink, a story of heartbreak, betrayal, and relentless ambition began to unfold. Elias had once been a promising young entrepreneur, brimming with ideals and dreams. However, an unexpected tragedy, a family scandal intertwined with a ruthless corporate feud, had left him scarred and driven him into a life of isolation and calculated risk. Among the documents was a journal entry dated several years before his public diagnosis. Elias had written about a love lost, a betrayal by those he had trusted, and the pain of watching his life unravel. Each entry revealed a man tormented by regret, yet determined to find redemption in his own way. The journals hinted at a secret project, a research endeavor that promised to change the course of his terminal illness. The idea was radical, almost desperate, to develop a treatment that could reverse the ravages of time and sickness. Yet, the cost of pursuing such a breakthrough had been steep. The journals detailed sleepless nights, failed experiments, and a mounting pressure from both his adversaries and his own internal demons. Amelia felt a surge of emotions, compassion for the suffering man she loved, and a profound sense of responsibility. She now understood that Elias's guarded heart was not merely an act of self-preservation, but a fortress built on years of hidden pain. In that moment, the beautiful enigma she had married transformed into a complex puzzle of loss and hope. Determined to confront Elias and learn the truth, she closed the cabinet slowly, the weight of her discovery mingling with an intense desire to help him find the closure he so desperately needed. Later that evening, as dusk settled and the storm outside abated, Amelia gently broached the subject with Elias. His eyes, initially clouded with apprehension, shifted to one of resignation and relief. In a quiet, hushed tone, he admitted that his past was fraught with mistakes and that the secret project was his final bid to reclaim the life he once knew. The conversation, though laden with painful memories, marked a turning point in their relationship. It was a moment of raw vulnerability that deepened their bond, setting the stage for a series of revelations that would soon challenge everything they thought they knew about love, loyalty, and the price of redemption. In the weeks that followed, the atmosphere in the mansion grew charged with unspoken tension and renewed determination. Now that the veil had been partially lifted, Elias cautiously began to reveal more about the secret project that had haunted him for years. Late-night sessions in his private study turned into heartfelt discussions about his ambition to develop a revolutionary treatment, a serum synthesized from rare botanical extracts and experimental compounds that he believed could not only prolong his life, but also heal others afflicted by similar diseases. Elias's voice trembled with both hope and fear as he recounted the sacrifices required for his research. The serum was derived from a combination of cutting-edge science and ancient herbal remedies, a blend that defied conventional medical wisdom. It had been a gamble born of desperation, pursued in secret by a man who had nothing left to lose. He confessed that the treatment was still in its experimental stages, and that each day brought the looming possibility of failure. The stakes were impossibly high. Not only was his own life hanging in the balance, but the very essence of his redemption rested on this precarious venture. Amelia listened intently, her heart aching with empathy for the tortured soul before her. She understood that the project was more than just a scientific endeavor. It was Elias's final attempt to rewrite his destiny, to salvage a life marred by regret and pain. With each revelation, the magnitude of his inner battle became clearer. Yet, she also sensed that there were forces outside the mansion walls who coveted Elias's secrets. Whispers of corporate espionage and clandestine rivalries had begun to circulate among his closest associates. Those who once admired his brilliance now eyed him with a blend of envy and suspicion, eager to uncover the weaknesses hidden behind his public facade. Amelia, fueled by her love and determination, resolved to stand by him. Together, they delved deeper into the records and research, piecing together the complex puzzle of his project. Late-night hours turned into early mornings as they pored over scientific notes, historical journals, and cryptic diagrams. In these shared moments of study, their bond grew stronger, tethered by a common purpose: to defy the odds and overcome the limitations imposed by fate. Yet, even as hope began to shimmer on the horizon, ominous signs of betrayal emerged. A series of anonymous messages warned them to cease their experiments, hinting at dire consequences should they proceed. The couple soon realized that they were not only racing against time, but also against a shadowy network determined to keep Elias's secrets buried. As the walls of trust began to crack, Amelia and Elias braced themselves for the turbulent challenges ahead, a battle that would test not only their scientific resolve, but also the strength of their unbreakable love. Just as the couple's resolve seemed to strengthen with every new discovery, an insidious force began to weave its way into their lives. It started with subtle intrusions. Unmarked envelopes slipped under the door, hushed phone calls in the dead of night, and the unmistakable feeling of being watched. Elias, ever cautious despite his fragile state, grew increasingly paranoid. He confided in Amelia about the sense that long-standing rivals from his business empire were mobilizing against him, intent on stealing the fruits of his risky research. Among those suspected was Victor St. James, a formidable ex-partner whose own ambitions had once driven him to the brink of ruin. Victor, known for his ruthless tactics and a history of corporate sabotage, had the resources and influence to tip the scales in his favor. Rumors swirled that he had been quietly amassing allies, waiting for the perfect moment to dismantle Elias's empire and his secret project along with it. One chilly evening, as a bitter wind howled outside, Amelia discovered a hidden file tucked away in Elias's study. The file contained correspondence with an unknown benefactor, detailing urgent pleas for assistance in the research. The tone was desperate, hinting at a desperate alliance that had formed in the shadows. Amelia's mind raced with questions. Who was behind these messages? And was this benefactor friend or foe? The more she read, the more she realized that Elias's project was not a solitary quest. It was entangled with powerful interests that operated far beyond the realm of science and medicine. Determined to unearth the truth, Amelia began discreet inquiries among Elias's longtime staff. Loyal employees expressed vague recollections of unusual meetings and whispered warnings, yet no one dared speak openly. The atmosphere of fear and secrecy was palpable, and it became increasingly clear that the couple's sanctuary was under siege. Trust, once a given, now had to be earned at every turn. Even Elias's most devoted allies now appeared to be shrouded in uncertainty, their motives ambiguous in the face of growing pressure. Yet, amid the betrayal and treachery, Amelia found a strength within herself she had never known. The hardships of her past had taught her resilience, and now, with Elias by her side, she embraced her role as both confidant and protector. Together, they began reinforcing the security of their estate and tightening control over their research. Late-night strategy sessions replaced moments of idle conversation, as they mapped out contingencies for every possible threat. As the days passed, the stakes grew higher. Unexplained accidents, suspicious break-ins, and the relentless pressure from shadowy adversaries all conspired to test their commitment. Despite the encroaching danger, Amelia's determination never wavered. She began to see the betrayal not as a sign of weakness, but as a catalyst for unity, a challenge that, once overcome, could elevate their love and purpose to new heights. In the face of looming threats, every whispered warning, every shadow in the night, only made their bond stronger and their resolve to succeed even more unyielding. As autumn faded into winter, the couple found themselves at a crossroads. The severity of the threats and the weight of Elias's deteriorating health pressed upon them like an ever-darkening cloud. Yet, amid the encroaching despair, their love blossomed into a beacon of hope. With every challenge, Amelia's compassion and unwavering support illuminated Elias's world, allowing him to see beyond the confines of his illness and the betrayals that haunted him. In quiet moments by the roaring fireplace of their study, Elias recalled memories of a long-forgotten past, a time when ambition and idealism had once driven him to dream of a better world. Amelia listened, her eyes filled with empathy and quiet determination, as he recounted the cost of those dreams and the painful choices that had led him down a solitary path. In those moments, the billionaire's vulnerability was laid bare, and Amelia's heart ached with both sorrow and fierce devotion. The couple's relationship evolved into a delicate dance between hope and despair. Elias, though physically weakened, found strength in the shared laughter, the gentle touches, and the promise of a future where love transcended the boundaries of mortality. Amelia, determined to be his anchor, organized quiet gatherings at their estate, small, intimate affairs where close friends and trusted colleagues could share in the couple's journey. These evenings, filled with soft music and whispered confidences, served as a reminder that even in the face of death, life was meant to be celebrated. Yet, beneath the surface of this tender intimacy, the specter of Elias's secret project loomed large. Every breakthrough in their research was tempered by the ever-present risk of failure, and each day brought new reminders of the fine line between hope and despair. The experimental serum had shown glimmers of promise in preliminary trials, but progress was slow, and the mounting pressure from adversaries threatened to derail everything they had worked so hard to achieve. One snowy night, as a fierce blizzard rattled the windows and cloaked the estate in silence, Elias fell gravely ill. The severity of his condition sent shockwaves through their small circle of confidants. Amelia's heart broke at the sight of the man she loved lying so vulnerable, yet even in that moment of crisis, his eyes shone with a quiet defiance. In a hushed voice, he confided that his deteriorating state was not solely due to his illness, but also a manifestation of the immense stress and heartbreak of a life lived in constant battle against forces that sought to control him. Determined to save him, Amelia made a fateful decision. Drawing upon the knowledge gleaned from the secret files and the whispered advice of trusted experts, she resolved to take charge of the research. With Elias's blessing and a steely resolve born of love, Amelia began collaborating with scientists and old friends of Elias who still believed in his vision. What started as a desperate act of care slowly evolved into a full-fledged mission, a journey to unlock the secrets of the serum and secure Elias's future against all odds. In that moment, as the storm raged outside and the future hung in the balance, their love became not only a source of strength but a promise, a vow to defy death itself, no matter what challenges lay ahead. Just as Amelia's efforts in the lab began to yield promising data, an unexpected visitor arrived at the estate. Under the cover of darkness, a man with cold, calculating eyes and an air of authority knocked on the door. He introduced himself as Dr. Adrian Cole, a former colleague of Elias's from a forgotten chapter of his past. With an urgent tone, Dr. Cole revealed startling news. The experimental serum was more than a desperate gamble. It was a groundbreaking discovery with the potential to not only treat terminal illnesses, but also to reverse the aging process. According to Dr. Cole, Elias had stumbled upon clues in the journals that hinted at an ancient formula, one that had been lost for centuries and guarded by secret societies. The Billionaire, driven by both scientific curiosity and personal desperation, had been close to unlocking this formula's potential. However, its application came with grave risks. Dr. Cole warned that the serum's full effects had never been tested on humans, and its very nature could alter the balance of life and death in unforeseen ways. The revelation left Amelia reeling. The man she had come to love, a man whose life had been defined by suffering and secrecy, was on the brink of achieving something that could shake the foundations of modern medicine and society itself. The gravity of the discovery was matched only by the ethical quandaries it raised. Was it right to tamper with the natural order? Could love and hope truly defy the laws of nature? Elias, though weakened, listened intently as Dr. Cole outlined the scientific principles behind the serum. The formula relied on a rare compound extracted from a unique species of orchid known only to flourish in secluded tropical regions. Its properties were legendary among herbalists and ancient healers, revered as a mythical cure-all. Yet, modern science had been unable to replicate its miraculous effects, until Elias's relentless pursuit had uncovered a way to synthesize the compound in a controlled laboratory setting. As the conversation unfolded in hushed tones, the storm of uncertainty deepened. Dr. Cole's arrival was not a benign coincidence, but rather a harbinger of forces, both corporate and clandestine, that had long been watching Elias's every move. The secret society hinted at in Elias's journals was real, and they were determined to reclaim the ancient knowledge at any cost. For Amelia, the shock was twofold. Not only was she confronted with the possibility that the serum could be the key to saving Elias's life, but she also realized that they had inadvertently stepped into a battlefield of ancient rivalries and modern power struggles. In that moment, the full weight of Elias's legacy and the dangerous path he had trodden became painfully clear. The promise of a cure came with an unspoken price, one that might forever alter the course of their lives and the world beyond. Elias, with a pained smile, confessed that he had long known the risks, but his love for life and his desire for redemption had driven him forward. With the shocking revelation now out in the open, the couple stood at a precipice, their future uncertain and fraught with peril. Yet, even as dark forces gathered and the storm of controversy loomed on the horizon, Amelia resolved to stand by Elias, prepared to face whatever challenges this new discovery might unleash. News of the breakthrough spread through whispered channels long before it could reach the mainstream media. Elite investors, shadowy organizations, and even government officials began to take an uneasy interest in Elias's research. In the midst of this maelstrom, Amelia and Elias found themselves thrust into a world where alliances were fickle and trust was a luxury they could scarcely afford. Late one evening, as the couple pored over the latest test results in their study, the sound of shattering glass alerted them to an intruder. In a tense confrontation, they discovered that a hired mercenary had attempted to break in, leaving behind cryptic clues that hinted at a larger conspiracy. The mercenary's message was clear: stop the research or face dire consequences. For the first time, the couple fully grasped the magnitude of the forces arrayed against them. Determined to unravel the mystery, Amelia enlisted the help of a trusted private investigator who had once worked with Elias during his early business days. The investigator uncovered a tangled web of rivalries that stretched back decades, a network of powerful individuals who had everything to lose if Elias's discovery became public. Among them was Victor St. James, whose personal vendetta against Elias had evolved into a relentless campaign to sabotage his every move. As evidence of corporate espionage and clandestine political maneuvering accumulated, Amelia and Elias were forced to confront the chilling reality that their love story was entwined with a battle for control over life itself. The experimental serum was not merely a medical breakthrough. It was a weapon, a tool that could redefine wealth, power, and the very essence of human existence. With this knowledge came a series of life-altering decisions. Elias, who had spent years suppressing his ambition in favor of quiet resilience, now felt the surge of purpose. His illness, once a symbol of his mortality, had become a catalyst for change, a beacon of hope and a dangerous liability in a world dominated by greed. In a clandestine meeting held under the cover of darkness at an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city, Amelia, Elias, and their small band of allies formulated a plan to safeguard the research. They realized that the only way to counter the growing conspiracy was to expose the truth, to reveal that the serum was not a means of immortality for the select few, but a potential cure for countless suffering souls. The stakes were higher than ever before, and every decision carried immense risk. As Amelia recorded every detail of their meeting, she vowed to protect Elias and his legacy with every fiber of her being. The unfolding drama was no longer just about saving one life. It was about challenging a system that had long exploited the vulnerable. In that moment, with danger lurking at every turn and betrayal casting long shadows over their future, the couple embraced a newfound resolve. Together, they would fight for truth, for love, and for a future where the miracle of healing was shared by all. Despite the relentless pressure from adversaries and the constant threat of sabotage, a breakthrough finally emerged in the laboratory. Late one stormy night, as Amelia and a team of dedicated scientists worked tirelessly under flickering fluorescent lights, a series of tests revealed that the synthesized serum was producing remarkable results. Cells damaged by the disease began to regenerate, and preliminary animal trials showed unprecedented recovery rates. The data was irrefutable. A miracle was in the making. When Elias received the news, his frail face lit up with a mixture of disbelief and gratitude. In that moment, the past, the pain, the betrayal, the long years of isolation seemed to melt away. The discovery was not only a medical triumph, but a vindication of everything he had risked. With renewed vigor, he embraced the possibility of a future that had once seemed unattainable. The couple began planning a public demonstration of the serum's efficacy, fully aware that this revelation would shake the foundations of society and disrupt the agendas of those who had plotted against them. The announcement of the breakthrough sent ripples across the global stage. Media outlets, scientific communities, and even political leaders were astounded by the dramatic recovery observed in initial trials. The narrative shifted from that of a doomed billionaire and his tragic love story to one of hope, resilience, and the transformative power of love and determination. While skeptics questioned the long-term implications, the overwhelming tide of public sentiment rallied behind the couple. For many, Elias's struggle became emblematic of the eternal human battle against mortality. Amelia stood by his side during the press conference, her calm, confident demeanor a testament to her unwavering belief in their cause. When a reporter asked her what she believed was the secret to their success, she replied, "It's not just science, it's love, a love that dares to defy even death." Her words, simple yet profound, resonated deeply with everyone listening, casting a new light on the couple's extraordinary journey. Yet, even in triumph, caution prevailed. The forces that had once sought to destroy Elias's work were not easily dissuaded. Rumors of covert sabotage and financial maneuvering persisted in the background, reminding them that every victory came with a price. Nonetheless, buoyed by the success of the breakthrough and the unwavering support of those who believed in them, Amelia and Elias pressed forward. They knew that the true measure of their achievement would be the day when the serum could be administered safely to those in need, transforming lives and rewriting the definition of hope. In the quiet moments following the press conference, as the world celebrated the possibility of a miracle, Elias took Amelia's hand and whispered, "You gave me more than a second chance at life. You gave me a reason to believe in love again." Her smile, tender and resolute, answered the unspoken promise that together they would face whatever came next, united by a bond that had already defied fate. As the public began to embrace the breakthrough, the aftermath of Elias and Amelia's journey became a whirlwind of emotion and scrutiny. The demonstration of the serum's efficacy transformed the couple into symbols of hope and change, but it also thrust them into a vortex of media attention, political maneuvering, and ethical debates. Across boardrooms, laboratories, and government offices, opinions clashed over the implications of a treatment that could alter human aging and disease. The very fabric of society was being challenged, and everyone had a stake in the unfolding drama. Despite the public adulation and scientific acclaim, the personal cost of the victory weighed heavily on Elias and Amelia. Late-night phone calls, endless meetings with regulators, and confrontations with powerful adversaries left them emotionally and physically drained. The corridors of power were rife with intrigue, and old enemies, both seen and unseen, were eager to reclaim control of the narrative. For many in high society, the miracle serum was not a gift of hope but a threat to the established order, one that might upset delicate balances in industries built on the inevitability of aging and decline. Amelia, however, had grown into her role as both guardian and visionary. With her gentle determination and quiet courage, she became the couple's public face, an advocate for ethical research and accessible healthcare. Her impassioned speeches at scientific forums and community gatherings painted a picture of a future where breakthroughs were shared with the world, not hoarded by a privileged few. At the same time, she worked behind the scenes to ensure that Elias's research was protected from corporate greed and political manipulation. For Elias, the journey had come full circle. The man once burdened by a terminal illness was now facing an uncertain future, a future where each day was a precious gift and every heartbeat a defiance of death. Surrounded by allies and supporters, he began to emerge from the shadows of his past. In heartfelt interviews and quiet moments with loved ones, he spoke of the transformative power of love and the belief that even the most broken of lives could find redemption. The public, once shocked by the union of a young beauty and a dying billionaire, now saw a man reborn, a symbol of resilience and the extraordinary capacity of the human spirit to overcome adversity. Yet, as the accolades mounted, so did the lingering threats from those who had lost in the wake of progress. The shadowy figures behind the attempted sabotage were still at large, and their plans to control the technology were far from over. Even as the serum began to make its way into approved trials, whispers of covert operations and financial embezzlement continued to circulate. Amid these challenges, Amelia and Elias fortified their resolve. They knew that the path to a brighter future would always be fraught with obstacles, but together, they were ready to face whatever storms lay ahead. In the soft light of a new day, as winter slowly yielded to the promise of spring, Amelia and Elias stood at the threshold of a transformed world. The journey that had begun with a chance encounter had led them through heartache, betrayal, and an extraordinary scientific breakthrough, one that promised to redefine what it meant to be human. In the aftermath of trials and tribulations, the couple's love had not only survived, but blossomed into an enduring legacy. At a grand ceremony held at a newly established research center dedicated to ethical innovation, Elias unveiled the final results of the serum trials. The audience, a mix of scientists, policymakers, and ordinary citizens, listened in awe as he recounted the journey, a tale of love, loss, and the relentless pursuit of hope. In his measured tone, he thanked Amelia for being his unwavering anchor, acknowledging that without her compassion and determination, none of this would have been possible. As the center's doors opened to patients eager to benefit from the breakthrough, the world watched in a state of hopeful anticipation. The miracle serum, once a desperate gamble, was now poised to heal not just one man, but countless others. In that moment, the couple's personal triumph merged with a broader vision, a vision of a future where science and love intertwined to conquer the seemingly impossible. Behind the public spectacle, Amelia and Elias retreated to a quiet corner of the garden. Amid blooming flowers and the gentle murmur of a nearby fountain, they allowed themselves a moment of reflection. Elias, his eyes filled with both wonder and gratitude, whispered, "We have defied fate, not just by surviving, but by daring to love and dream." Amelia, her hand resting tenderly on his, replied, "Our journey was never just about beating death. It was about celebrating life in all its painful, beautiful glory." As the sun ascended on that new dawn, the couple recognized that the road ahead would always hold uncertainties. Yet, their shared experience had transformed them into beacons of hope for a world hungry for change. They resolved to continue their work, not for personal gain, but as a legacy for future generations, a testament to the power of love and the courage to challenge destiny. In the months and years that followed, the impact of their breakthrough rippled across the globe. Communities once resigned to the inevitability of decline now embraced the possibility of renewal. And while challenges persisted, the story of the young beauty and the dying billionaire, a tale of shocking twists, unwavering love, and the triumph of the human spirit, remained an enduring reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary miracles begin with a single, fateful encounter. Thank you for watching until the end. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below with your thoughts. Your support means the world and helps bring more exciting stories to life. See you in the next one.